Let's talk a little bit about, in this section here, about the Welsh unease about the Corbyn re-election, because I think that's important. We'll talk about the Corbyn re-election's broader impact on the UK, but tell me what it means for Welsh Labour.
Well, I mean, there is a great deal of unease. I mean, I've written about it in terms of, I've spoken to contacts that I have in the Labour Party in Wales. And, the senior people in Wales, like Cameron Jones, the First Minister, have supported Owen Smith. For whatever you think about Owen Smith, and I'm not a great believer in what he said, if anything, frankly.
Is it like anybody but Trump, anybody but Smith?
It is a bit like that for them. But he did represent for them the moderate wing of the Labour Party, right? Mm-hmm. And he got 38% of the vote. I mean, Corbyn got almost 62%, an overwhelming victory for a fairly extreme left-wing candidate who they think will not win another general election, right? Now, in Welsh Labour, there is a huge amount of unease about this, because most people think winning is actually very important, and they don't think Corbyn can win, and so that has been a source of very real friction within Labour and within Wales.
Well, they've never been supporters of Corbyn. I mean, even the first time around, they were not supporters.
No, I mean, it's interesting actually, because I mean there are people who are, as am I actually, opposed to nuclear weapons, for example, but are also opposed to Corbyn, within Welsh Labour, because the overriding issue is things like better jobs, better schools, better hospitals, and they don't think he can deliver. And you've got to remember as well, of course, we'll come on to Corbyn, but I mean, it's a very, very important time to have a very strong opposition there.
Sure.
And most MPs, the vast majority of them, don't want him.
No. And it's...
Is that, sorry, Phil, is that opinion that you're giving there, though, a sort of PLP in Wales opinion? Is that, how does that translate to, say, the Labour members in Wales? Is it still the same as like it is in England, where the PLP is completely, different in terms of their makeup and how they support Corbyn than the members are?
Partly PLP, but also you've got to remember Welsh AMs. I mean, Welsh Labour AMs are also opposed to Corbyn, most of them, and not publicly but privately. And within the membership, I mean, there's a split, but I mean, there's a genuine feeling of we need to be in power in Westminster. I mean, they are in power in Wales, but not in Westminster. And there is a feeling within Labour that they won't be in power in Westminster under Corbyn. And that's MPs, AMs, and within the Labour Party in Wales. Yeah,
it's a real conundrum, to be honest with you. I mean, we've been following it the whole summer, and there is just so much contradictory stuff going on in my own mind. Because there's sort of various aspects of what Corbyn is saying in terms of policy positions in the broadest sense that I agree with. But I was reading an article by Martin Kettle in The Guardian this morning, and he cites the figures that Labour is 17 percentage points behind on the economy, and Corbyn is a massive 58 percentage points behind May in terms of potential prime minister or approval ratings as prime minister. So there's the reality of the electorate versus the passion and ideology of these hardcore Labour left-wing supporters. Now, what's the answer going to be? Is Labour going to move wholesale more to the left, so they're going to have deselections and bring in MPs who are more sympathetic to Corbyn? Is the NEC constitution going to change? So therefore, is the Labour Party going to completely change its identity and its form since it has been, almost since 1945? If that happens, then that groundswell of MPs in the PLP are essentially going to have to either put up or shut up in the Labour Party or go somewhere else.